Yeah.
Yeah, 99.6, so that's 100. That was good. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. We're going to be talking about ground force reactions and when they should happen in the swing. Post-impact, pre-impact, like really early, and how that can make you a better golfer. Before we get started in the video, I want to let everybody know about this really cool contest they're doing on DraftKings about the big tournament that's going on in Georgia, the first major. I think you know what I'm talking about. Stay tuned to the end of this video and find information about how you can get involved with that. It's really fun. All right, Dr. Scott.
Yes.
We met because I saw you down at Urban Golf Performance where you were giving a talk. I don't think anybody there liked me because I asked so many questions. Have you seen good players swing it the fastest in each one of these three tests? Okay. Yeah. I had a lot. So after the talk, we saw my swing on your 3D plate, which is amazing because it can show, what can it show?
It's going to show you the side-to-side forces, our gliding type forces, or the linear forces in our swing. They're going to show us our torques, or our rotational forces, and then also our vertical forces, or the jumping type forces. So it gives you basically information about everything that you could possibly do to create speed and hit a golf ball.
It's really cool. The first thing I saw about that I really thought was cool because it kind of cleared up a bit of this debate that I've seen in the golf swing is in every good player, except for maybe one, but in every good player, you see this sequence of events as far as what do you see, like as far as horizontal, like when do these things happen?
Sure, so the first thing that happens in, like I said, 99% of the good swings is a horizontal or a linear kind of shift of the...
So the mat is feeling some kind of force going
it's feeling you push that way, and then it's pushing back on you.
Right, so you're pushing it this way so that you can go this way.
And
so some guys are doing a lot, some guys are doing a little, but they're all doing it first.
They're all doing it,
And they're doing it first.
And then once they get that little horizontal in, the next thing they do is a rotational force, or the torque force kicks in second. And then finally, kind of around club, parallel to the ground in the downswing, is when they produce that vertical force. So we call it a glide, spin, and then launch sequence.
Glide, spin, launch. Everybody does it. 99% plus of good players. And everybody's going to say, who's the one guy? Don't worry about it. Almost everybody's doing it this way. It's not you. No. That's the main thing. It ain't you.
Exactly.
So, all right. But what I saw about that was encouraging was because I almost guarantee when I started the channel, you would have seen rotation first, then horizontal, and then a little bit of launch.
And it's interesting that...
that was something that with Flamingo Drill and other things that I really worked on, not doing this right off the bat.
The magnitude of it, because I've measured some people who do work on that type of, torque, but they still, in their golf swing, have a little horizontal first, and then the spin happens second.
So even the guys we see on Instagram and other places doing this routine to feel are still going horizontal
a little
bit.
It's I think that move really tries to get a lot of torque and get rid of some of the linear, but it's still there. It's impossible to hit it without it, and so they still get moving lateral first.
So I was happy to see that I went glide, rotate, launch. Good.
Perfect.
The thing that I didn't like though was that my peak vertical was coming about here.
Yeah.
Where should it be?
We say the latest it should be is there.
Oh, Lord.
And so what we know is forces need to come first and motions need to come second. And if we're talking about ground reaction forces, we're measuring stuff that's happening at the ground. And that force needs some time to get from the ground up through your body and into the club to create speed. And so what we look at when we create this ground reaction force, this vertical force is, and I learned this from some of Sasha McKenzie's work, when we get to this point in the golf swing, we used to think that the hands were pulling the club, kind of handle dragging kind of deal.
Kept it going.
Kept it going forward. And so we used to think the forces that the hands were putting into the club were pulling it towards the target. But that actually, from Sasha's work, that I've seen some of those animations, I don't know if he showed you those ones, but you see the golf club moving in space and you see that net force on the club. You're actually pulling up when the club gets here. That force is coming up here. And so if I lift up on the club here, that's actually going to create a torque that snaps the club down into impact. So if I can grab this and just go to this point, right? So from here, if I freeze here, then I just want to go make the club head go as fast as I can. It would be like this. Up. Yeah, totally. Because that creates a torque or a moment of force on the club. Whew, that's fast. And for whatever reason in your golf swing, whatever you're working on or whatever it is, that force was way too late.
Now, the one thing you said that I thought was interesting was not only is it not what we see in a lot of the good players and maybe inefficient, but you also said like this can be dangerous, having such peak force out here.
Yeah. I always bring the analogy in of like a baseball pitcher.
Okay.
And so you'll rarely see baseball pitchers that get hurt before they release the ball. So that comes to here, and it's once that ball's gone, and now they're trying to slow their arm down is where injuries happen. I don't know if you heard the name Tom House at USC. A lot of his work that he does works on out here.
The D cell.
The D cell.
Yeah.
And I think one of his theories is if we work on your D cells, because the human brain's pretty smart. If I put you in my car and say, this car can only stop you going 50 miles an hour, are you going to drive 60? No, that's kind of dumb because you can't stop yourself.
It's like a golf cart. There's a governor on it.
Right, 100%. And so I think your brain puts a governor on your body, but then if you work your decelerators or your brakes, and now your brakes can handle 90, your brain will let you go 90.
Like the Ferrari and the Porsche and everything, they all have also the most expensive brakes.
They have to, right? And so that is the braking forces. And so after the ball's gone and your club is moving through here, you're in an eccentric mode where all your muscles are lengthening and trying to slow your body down to stop it. And if at that point you're putting tons of force through your body, that could get dangerous.
Gone anyway.
The ball's gone. It's doing you no good to hit the ball anymore, and now it's a ton of force going through your body.
I guess let's just do a capture of what I'm up to right now.
Let's just do what you were doing before. And I imagine
in our last video, to remind you guys, right about here, so I started to do we call it like a Matt Wolf thing where I'm jumping this way, or a Bubba Watson where I'm putting force into the ground, literally like in a shear way, like this way.
Yeah.
Before, when I saw that Phil video on his stuff, I thought I had to jump like this.
Yeah.
But I'm actually trying to rip this mat that way.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
Hang on 1 second. Give me a sec here.
And that boosted my club head speed like 10%, like 6%.
Eventually you got up to 98 there, so that's pretty good.
Yeah. Ready?
Yeah. All right.
Wow. That feels like that leg action, Tiger was talking about.
Yeah.
Like this. See, everybody, see, if you just saw me doing this, you would think, oh, he's just twisting his hips open. I was like, no, I'm pushing the ground. It has to make my hips come up.
Yeah, well, and everybody does that. I mean, it's impossible to make
that
the
was a
hips
pretty
go
good
open.
one there.
It was. What was the speed on that?
94.5.
Okay. Interesting.
And can you see on the graph where the peak was?
Yeah, we're still post-impact.
So maybe I can do that move, but don't do it like here. I can do it like here.
Earlier, yeah. Try earlier, see what happens.
All right, so I'm going to try this. The same thing I was doing. I'll just try and air swing it first.
And I would take a practice swing and like literally jump backwards, like do a Matt Wolf. Like you're not going to hit the ball that way, but like in your practice swing you could.
Okay, I'll try that in practice swing.
Really jump. There you go. Good. Okay. Now your foot's going to stay on the ground now, but hit the ball with that same kind of feel. I don't think you'll be able to hit it doing that, but that's a good rehearsal move to get your feel down.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Wasn't hit solidly, but how was the speed there?
Speed there was 99.2.
Yeah.
Really fast.
Real fast.
Really fast. Arms to here and then. Wow, that feels fast.
That sounds fast.
Surprising. Should I try another one? Or?
Sure, go for it. At least now you have your long drive swing.
Really, Kyle Berkshire. My hat's going to fall off. 98.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's fast.
That is fast. So now we got to rein it in. Yeah, it's still late. It's like where the... Oh, that was smashed. That one was hit solid too, right?
It's a little thin, but actually I think that would have been a really good golf course shot. 97.6.
Yeah, that's good.
It's a 7-iron too, so that's pretty fast.
That's really fast. It's late though.
It's like way out there.
Way out
Is
there.
that like my rebound? Or?
Could be, yeah. Like,
because remember we were seeing like a double bump before?
Yeah.
Where
because you have to, I mean, the cue we try to give for the double bump is to like Annika Sorenstam kind of David
Oh,
Duval
right.
it.
Yeah.
Kind of release your head early through impact.
That was a good golf shot. 95.5.
Well, that's good.
That was a better golf shot.
Yeah, that's more under control. So to me, a little Wolf and a little Duval would be a
Okay.
little Wolf downswing feel and Duval release.
Okay. Or a Bubba and a Stenson. Or a Stenson then a, wait, yeah, that's right. Bubba. Okay.
Bubba
There we go.
stints.
So I'm here, I'm there,
And then
and then finish it.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, 99.6. So that's 100. That was good. What did that one look like, Doctor?
Yeah, that timing of that is just something that's part of your swing. It's
just
like
out
always
there,
the
like-
right, it's like right where you're like halfway, like club parallel to the ground on the downswing.
On the through swing.
Yeah,
On out here.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's, you don't see that too often. Whew. That one was hit.
Yeah, that was 180.
180, we're carrying it now.
96.
That, I think we found something there for sure.
The question I forgot to ask you.
Okay.
Okay. When I first came, is I know why you're doing this. I know your nefarious plan to get involved in all this stuff. It's just to make yourself a better golfer.
100%.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I knew it. I knew it. So, but you were saying you got on this originally with somebody, and they said, no, your bumps
yeah.
need to be like this and
Well,
that.
this was more the, because when I first started doing golf biomechanics work, nobody was doing ground reaction forces at the time.
Right.
This was
So these are the
2008.
sensors all over your body.
Yeah,
Okay.
and we did the kinematic sequence.
Yeah.
And the kinematic sequence, it was Phil Cheatham that was kind of the guy who did a lot of the initial research in that, and it's good stuff, right? So it's you want your pelvis moving first, then your thorax, then your arm, and then your club. And the problem with that is it's all rotational. So the kinematic sequence, and there are linear sequences, but
Yeah.
nobody really talks about them. They only talk about the rotational sequence.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
And mine's never been good. Like every time I measure it, it doesn't look good. And I've been with people who are like, no, you got to do this to make your sequence look better.
Yeah.
And I've made those bumps look more like people want them to see.
And Phil got excited. He's like, that's it.
Yeah, and it was a net like this. I almost missed it. I like shanked it, and it went way slower. And I'm like, how is that?
So your contact was worse, your speed was worse,
Yeah.
but your graphs were better.
Your graphs look better. And so, but this game isn't about making your graphs look pretty, right? It's
Right.
making the little white thing go where you need it to go. And so, and it makes more sense to me because I grew up playing ice hockey. And so doing a Matt Wolf rotational swing for me is impossible.
Yeah.
Because I learned to create speed more in a linear direction with blades on my feet. And
Yeah.
so to me, I could probably spend a long time in the gym and working on trying to create more rotational force.
Yeah.
But
Right.
I don't have that kind of time, right? I'm not like, I mean, I think, and I can still, and once I learned to just set up in a way and use the ground in the way that my body uses it best, my game has gotten a lot better
Great.
and a lot more consistent. We talked about the horizontal force, the rotational force, and the vertical force.
Yeah.
And we've only found, when I first started teaching this stuff, everybody thought if I just maximize all three forces, it's going to be good, right? Make sure everybody has all three and we're going to be perfect.
Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, like you don't have enough of this. Let's raise
Let's
this.
just raise it up.
Right.
Like, so like say your two, your torque and your vertical are good, but your linear is not good. Well, let's raise up the
Taking
linear.
our volume sliders to max.
Sure, and
on
just
everyone.
max them up,
Right.
all of them. And I don't think that's the case. Because we've tested a whole bunch of PGA Tour players, and there's only been 3 that have been at or above the tour average in all 3 of them so far. We have Justin Rose, Tommy Fleetwood, and recently
Justin Rose out of the box was all those three, or because I know he works on the swing catalyst a lot.
yeah, it must, I don't know.
He was already, or did he train himself to
I
get?
think I've seen some of his that aren't,
Okay.
and I think he's probably trained to
Okay.
do it. Tommy Fleetwood was out of the box. I don't think he trains on it.
He just is. Yeah.
And then Kevin Tway. So I work closely with Kevin Tway's coach, E.J. Pfister in Oklahoma. And so he works with the whole Tway family. He works with Bob. He works with.
That's cool.
And he's worked closely with Kevin quite a bit. And we measured him at the Players Championship recently, and his speed's unbelievable.
Yeah,
he
all
was
those guys are great.
He was
Golf
100 something miles an hour with like, I think he said at one point he'd measured him 100 miles an hour with his wedge, which is like ridiculous speed.
I believe it. I mean, he's like 6'4", right?
Yeah, he's just a freak of nature. Yeah. He's a talented kid.
Yeah.
And so those are the three guys we've found that can do all three. But you know, we've measured a ton of other PGA Tour players that don't have all three and still
kill it. Yeah.
Make good money, hit it far, make birdies, shoot low scores. So I don't think, again, I think.
So just because that's happening for me doesn't mean like I need to like stop everything until I fix that.
No,
I might not even be able to.
No, I know,
Right.
and I haven't seen that before. That this is new to have it that late and still hit it really well. But who knows? I mean, and I think you are a messy test subject because you've done so much work on your golf swing. And
right.
but to me, what you need to think about, because what gave us best here is when we did the rotational thoughts,
Yep.
the left leg rotational thoughts.
Yeah. So just to repeat, guys, still doing my thing where I'm feeling the arms to here, and then that's when I'm like trying to rip the mat off that way.
Forward, and jump backwards and do that.
And then really to like stay up watching the ball like immediately.
Release as much as you can
like
through the ball.
Annika and Henrik does.
Yeah. Whew.
Yeah, it really feels forward.
That's
like
129 ball speed, 180 carry, 98. Man, those are, and that didn't look like you're going after it.
No, it felt a lot more forward and a lot less down here.
Good.
Yeah, so that's good.
And that was kind of the cue that you talked about before, right? Thinking about not the ball, but
right
there. And so maybe we might have come up with something there that clicked for you.
So try that, guys. Let me know the cues that work for you. Try some of these different things as far as like, hey, and really I think the measurement is really important. Even if you have just like one of those little radar things, or if you can get to a range where you know the spots, like don't say like, oh, I know this is faster because it feels faster.
Yeah, you never know.
Sometimes will
feels
really
and reels
fool you.
are not the same.
So let me know the different cues that work for you. And you guys can contact Dr. Scott through his direct email, which is?
slynn@swingcatalyst.com.
And he can hook you up with, if you guys are interested in trying out some of this for you or one of your players. If you guys want to get involved in this really cool DraftKings contest we're doing during the first major of the year, the one in Georgia, the big one, the address for it is in the description below. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's something I think I'm going to be doing for all the majors. And you'll see my team on there and everything else. And I think it'll be fun. See you later, guys. Bye.